Hello, everyone, and welcome to the first qualifier for the Speedgaming Live 23 online Super Metroid Randomizer tournament. My name's MM2NES Cartridge, and I am joined by DJ Webb in the commentary booth. How you doing, DJ?
I'm doing good. It's a nice Saturday morning. Excited for a new Super Metroid Randomizer tournament to start. This should be a fun one. We have a quick little qualifying little experiment, and then we'll get to see probably, I'm assuming this should be, pretty good, pretty competitive tournament. We've got some of the heavy hitters in this qualifier already for sure, and we'll see who joins and how people deal with it.
Yeah, for sure. This should be a really exciting race. We have 16 people racing this qualifier. Zeb, Farflu, Sloters, and a bunch of other really good players. Yeah, we've got Zeb here on your left, Farflu on your right, and they're going to be competing on the restream, and they are off. So, DJ, would you do us a favor and tell us about the settings for this tournament?
Yep, so unlike a few of our more recent tournaments, this will just be a single mode tournament. Every race will be the same settings. We'll have major minor item split, full area shuffle, and boss randomization. So major minor, if you're not familiar, was pretty normal for Super Metroid Randomizer. Basically, major items like E-tanks, unique items, reserve tanks, stuff like that will be in one pool shuffled amongst themselves, and the other pool will be missiles, super missiles, and power bombs. With one exception, in the wreck ship, the right super is a major, and that is switched with the high jump E-tank, which is now a minor.
Yeah, that change was enacted in Total's Old Rando, I believe, was when it was first decided, and it's just stuck in every iteration of Major Minor ever since, to my knowledge. But yeah, we've got Morphing Ball at the Morph Pedestal. And also, if you'll notice, there was a Varia update a few days ago. They changed the in-game font for message boxes. They also updated the map, so it looks a bit more detailed than in the vanilla game, as well as a couple other cool things.
Yep, we have a pretty standard start here. We're going to have to see what our runners are able to gather down here. So far, it's completely vanilla for the first three items. And hopefully we can get something different here. Nope, just a 4-for-4 vanilla start.
Yeah, it's always a little bit funny when that happens, but it's also the most disappointing start, because you don't get to check meme route, and you don't even get supers. It's just all you have are missiles. But on the plus side, that does mean BT will be some sort of way through the bomb blocks to the left side of criteria. So Retro Brinstar will remain in limbo for the foreseeable future until they discover it later, or if they have to come back. But now we'll just be headed back up and seeing what BT has.
Yeah, as I'm sure everyone who's watching has noticed, we've got an area tracker on screen for you all. This will be, as far as I know, this will be the first race on Restream that has it. Hopefully, everything works out well. I saw a little bit of a preview. Looks like some very thick lines. So
yeah,
if everything goes well, we'll have more information. And when we're talking about where these porters are going to take our runners, everyone will be able to follow along. And this is
exactly.
a map tracker that I guess was made by the Varia devs, I want to say. So.
Yeah, the image was made by the Only Dude, and he generously let us use it on Restream, and the actual tracker itself was made by Feasel and T-Sigma, who have been hard at work over the past couple days. I can't give enough shoutouts to them. They're awesome, they're doing great, and they put this tracker together in like a couple days to bring it to you all to make your viewing experience even better. So yeah, massive thanks to them. And we've got Screw Attack at Bomb Torizo, so that'll let us up to Gauntlet if the runners wish to do that, but they don't have a way to the back of Gauntlet. So I personally doubt that they're going to do Gauntlet at this stage of the game. They're just going to go through the bomb blocks to West Criteria.
Yeah, there's a... Screw Attack is definitely one of those items that you like. Obviously, it makes a lot of things easier, especially regarding, navigating through rooms and just, killing enemies by spin jumping into them. In a lot of ways, it can be really, really disconcerting just as far as like you said, like Gauntlet, the major itself is available, the minors aren't unless it gives you bombs exactly. And then the other thing that's available with that is the one minor down at Old Mother Brain, which could be relevant. And as you see from the runners, like they're not going back there right now. They're not going back there soon. So it definitely opens up things that you maybe aren't the most excited to look for, but it's a good item nonetheless.
Yeah, exactly. It's great to find, but you generally want to find it after you've got supers and power bombs. So yeah, we've got the G4 portal is going to lead to top of Green Bryn, and then the left criteria portal, the Kago, is going to go to the middle of Red Tower. Zeb is choosing to go to Green Bryn Star, which I think is a good choice. Farflu is also choosing to go to Green Bryn Star, right behind Zeb. I don't know if Farflu saw the other portal that Zeb did.
He did, yeah. Think about Red Tower. Well, there's two things. One, it's only got 5 total items, so it's not the most item dense place. There are 2 of them are majors, but one of them is locked behind power bombs, and the other one's locked behind supers, neither of which they currently have. So you want to be exploring that place for the area transitions, obviously, but you also probably want to, be able to get anything while you're in there.
Yeah, exactly. Red Tower is a very powerful place to have because it has so many area transitions, but it's also very easy to discover again from another point, just because there are so many transitions. So generally, if you find Red Tower or Green Bryn Star, especially early, then you're gonna be picking Green Bryn Star just because it's Green Bryn Star. You get the items you need, and it's just hard to come back. So understandable, and they both will be getting supers and power bombs here. So yeah, we're gonna be well stocked on miners. We won't have any ammo issues, except maybe toward the end game.
Yeah, these runners chose to do this very differently. Going in, you see the power bombs under the bridge. Zeb elected not to pick those power outs, confident in the trick that he did with Screw Attack. He pulled it off, and I believe maybe 2 or 3 attempts to get the miner back there, which, as we saw, was very important. It was our first super missile. Farflu elected, saw the power bombs, just said, "Hey, let me get these power bombs, and I'll run back in and get the stuff later." And because he also checked early supers first, gets to do the reverse mock ball out. So,
Sick.
nicely done.
Good job, Farflu. Glad to see you learning. He always tells me in SMC3 co-op when I can actually do that. But yeah, now we've got the Charge Beam at Edekun's E-Tank, which is a very powerful item. With the right beams, you can skip the ammo hunt at the end of the game, which Zeb is very good at the ammo hunt. He has a very good sense of which locations to check, what's where's he standing in it, and all that sort of stuff. So, not to say anyone else is bad at it, but Zeb's just really good. But yeah, both runners have the charge beam. They'll be making their way down to Big Pink now.
We've got 2 opportunities left to not isolate this the waterway major down here if we happen to find speed booster either at the wave gate or the charge beam, but otherwise it's depending on the rest of the portal layout. Sometimes it's not that bad to get back to. Other times, depending on exactly where speed is and where things are and where the seed takes you, it can be pretty far away.
Exactly. If speed shows up, it's great, but generally, if speed doesn't show up, then you don't put too much of a burden on going back, unless you're already going back to Green Bryn for something else. But sometimes you want to route in Green Bryn Star, just to do waterway. But if you can squeeze it in fairly neatly, then it's a nice way to route it back in.
Farflu started the wave gate room by doing the high jump with setup, and then realized he had high jump.
I think that was
to me like he was too far forward, but it worked. So
no, I think it was
props.
intentional because he doesn't have moonwalk, and he had to set up the high jump way like that because he can't moonwalk against the wall. You could do a 1 frame right tab in morph, to turn around without actually moving, but that's hard, and whatever works. Also, space jump and charge for Zeb, and now for Farfalu. And we find the back of East Meridia.
That was weird because the music didn't change on that area transition, but
I think what happened is the music change for that area isn't actually until you go down the elevator.
Yeah,
so
that makes sense.
Yeah, so it's still just going to play the Green Brinstar music. Just cuz.
Yeah. Also, for the keen-eyed among you out there, with the recent Varia update, you may have noticed a lack of a platform that used to be there. So, a very welcome change for some people. They changed a little bit more of that room just so it's. I think I thought I saw that they lowered the platform. It looked to me like they just changed it so that like you could wall jump off of it easier, but I'm not 100% sure.
They didn't lower the platform. They just decreased the length of the top ledge by 1 tile so that it was easier to wall jump on. You got it.
That makes sense. And New Bridge led to the top of West Meridia. Neither runner deciding to make a trek down there. I've seen Zeb do that a lot of times, so I'm honestly a little bit surprised he's not making that play, considering, I guess Red Tower being the other play is like very, very, very appetizing. It's just, you gotta run through this.
Red Tower is the place to be. You could potentially find the portals you could get spat on at Red Tower, but you could also get spat on at like Lower Norfair or something else bad, or like a Kraid with no way out, which would be even worse. So the safe play here, especially in a qualifier setting, is to just go back and do Red Tower. Just do Red Tower because it's 5 portals and 2 majors. So it's just the place to be.
Yeah, they got both the miners they needed to unlock the doors as well as space jump to make X-ray completely free. So no worries there.
Yeah. Though I would have no doubts that both of them would be going for the X-ray deboost in the scenario if they didn't have space. But they do have space, so Zeb will just be making his way through, and we get seeing what's at that major location. North E-Tank. So we haven't found Upper Norfair yet, but Hellruns are looking more and more likely as the season's progressing. But like I said, we do need to actually find Upper Norfair for that to be a thing.
Yeah. It's interesting. We found 4 good items already. We got the Charge Beam, High Jump, Space Jump, and Screw Attack, but
yeah, such is life when you find Brinstar early. Well, Green Brinstar, but Red Brinstar is also part of Brinstar.
Yeah. This is the one thing about when you come into Red Brinstar for the first time, in some ways the worst place to be is that the middle one right above X-Ray, because you have to make a decision on which way you go. There's 3 portals down here and there's 2 up towards Alpha Power Bombs, and typically you're only going to get one of those chunks the first time through. Makes sense to go down here first for the you already go down for X-Ray the first major, then Spacer's the other major. But typically, like we said, because it's such a big hub, you can find your way back to Red Brinstar pretty easily. But this is one of those places where making one decision one way or the other can definitely affect how things go for you. But yeah. This is definitely the expected play, going down first.
Yeah, going down for X-Ray, then back up to top of Red Tower isn't too slow time-wise, but going down, definitely, like you said, definitely is you could say it's the meta play. Just that's what people have evolved to do. Yeah, Croc at the tube. Zeb is electing to just do it now. He has charge, so it's not too bad.
Yeah. A little bit of a different ordering here. That two break is in logic. They do have the high jump boots as the other two both take you to the exact same place, one of which is basically vanilla.
Yeah,
So
kind of
that was a
fun.
fun time.
Yeah, Farfaloo just gonna break the tube to make sure he doesn't miss out on something really good. We'll find Croc. Let's see what he decides to do with it. Croc E-Tank with Spring Ball for Zeb. So, okay, Farfaloo decides to do Croc. I think this is probably correct, since there's two majors here. You have Charge, so it's very much in logic. Like, obviously, Ammo can put it in logic too, but Charge is just like, alright, just do Croc. It also makes the Croc fight not bad, and with the number of tanks you've been finding, Hell Runs might be the next thing you're doing. And also the fact that Farfaloo knows he's found two Upper Norfair portals. They are the same thing, but still. So you might be just going to Hell Runs right after this. So if you can, even if you just get two tanks here, that still will help with Hell Runs. Farfaloo, you
not
have
charging his beam. There we go. There we go. He remembered.
good job, Farfaloo.
Yeah, I hadn't even realized it until you said it. But yeah, the ammo is the projectile ammo is kind of sparse right now. Only 20 and 5, which
Yeah, there's haven't been many great ammo checks. Like Green Brentstar is great, but then outside of that, there's not much in Red Tower. There's a couple in Croc, but then we haven't gotten like to the dense other ammo checks. Like West Meridia is good, East Meridia is good, Upper Norfair is also good. We just haven't had much opportunity to find them.
yeah, and just generally probably a few more power bombs than you would expect, especially considering ratio-wise that's the lowest of the three, and right now they're equal with missiles. So
Yeah. Oh well.
definitely an
small
interesting
sample
start.
size.
Zeb, yeah, small sample size for sure. Zeb very much, did one minor check in here and found a super, which I'm sure is exactly what he was looking for. Probably you would wanted another. I kind of think I might have checked one or two of the others.
Yeah,
But,
I would have considered checking Croc power bombs with like the space jump that they have, since it's pretty easy to get there.
yeah.
But not checking it's fine. Yeah, Farfaloo looks like he's going to be checking it. Got some missile for his effort.
Zeb having a laugh about the transitions that he just checked. It's always nice to we can on restream see the facial reactions of our runners. Always,
Yeah.
You can find some funny things. The seed, they have some humor in them sometimes.
They really do. Yeah, it's one of the traditions of SGLIVE that there's a webcam spot on the restream. Started at SGLIVE 2020, I believe, which was the actual reason that SGLIVE Online is a thing now, because it was meant to be an in-person event, but then they had to cancel it for the obvious reasons. But yeah. Wave Beam and Ice for Farfaloo just now getting his speed. So looks like the two runners have taken, for the most part, the same path. Zeb just being a bit ahead, because Farfaloo did do those two portal checks before coming to Croc. So he'll just be able to go up to the top portal and be on his merry way. But still, Zeb does have the lead right now.
Yeah, some of that was Croc, some of that was movement. That probably mostly covers it.
Yeah,
like you said, otherwise,
yeah, the Croc fight for Farfaloo definitely did help for Zeb. Sick grapple, sick item for Zeb. Zeb should be happy.
Yeah, we've been getting a lot of good items. We have, now we have an actual beam to go with our charge. We have high jump, speed, space, and screw attack, and spring ball.
Yeah, if we get like some
more.
I mean, yeah, suits would be nice, but But yeah, if we get like a bit more ammo, like a couple more supers, a couple more tanks, then suitless Lower Norfair and suitless Meridia could be in our future. That'd be something. Double suitless.
Double suitless and a qualifier would definitely be bold is the word that I'm going to choose.
Yeah,
Obviously, 1v1 races and qualifiers, some people choose to handle those differently as far as, in a 1v1, it's you win or you lose. In a qualifier, especially with multiple qualifiers and, people playing in different races, different seeds, whatever, you're trying to get good time and put yourself in a good position to have, the best seed possible for the main event,
yep.
not necessarily the most practical thing to do to, go,
But
risky
DJ
as far as you
Webb,
can
there's
go.
a main event? I thought these qualifiers were all that there is to this tournament. Tell me more.
Okay, so double the number of runners that are in this qualifier, which is 16. So there'll be a 32-person double elimination bracket starting after round 2 of qualifiers, which are next weekend. There's 3 this weekend and 3 next, if I'm not
Well,
mistaken.
there's 4 this weekend and 4 next, so 8
Oh, I
qualifiers in
was
total.
mistaken.
It's all right. But yeah,
Yeah,
double elimination bracket starts as soon as we confirm everybody's in the tournament. And then, yeah, then after that, the first round of winners and first round of losers are best of ones to speed the tournament up, and then everything after that is a best of 3 series. Um, Same settings. It'll be awesome. I'm very much looking forward to it. And looks like Zeb's gonna go for a wave first. This makes sense because he has a crystal flash. He could no, he can't pull off 2. He doesn't have the power bombs. But yeah, he has a crystal flash. He has full health right now. So, well, he had close to full entering. So he can save the farm at speed for after this hell run and just save time farming, and then have more health at the end to go do something else, like check the wave portal potentially, or go do something else somewhere.
yeah, I was curious. You said I feel like this play is like saying that you're not gonna follow the wave portal, or not the wave portal, single chamber, whatever you want to call it, which,
Yeah,
because I don't think you really want to leave speed, because, like,
no. The point of this is you're going to do wave, then speed, and then the single chamber portal, which is less efficient routing wise, but it is more efficient farming wise. So yeah, and Zeb does find beefy go mode X-ray scope at wave. So GG Zeb. I'm sure he's headed up to landing site to execute out of bounds and break the rules and get disqualified. I'm kidding. Spazer
Fine
now.
Spazer.
So yeah, Spazer. It's a cool item, not like super important, but it's a nice beam. If they don't find a bunch of ammo or plasma, nice to have from Mother Brain. That's about it.
Zeb did obviously not farm the full first time here at speed, so made it back with about 70 health to spare or something like that, which, was definitely calculated. The only energy tank that was up here in this Bubble Mountain area was the first one they checked, which was Norfair Reserve. Typically, you don't see that checked first, but because they had full health and a lot of health, I think it made sense there. And
yeah, I definitely liked Norfair Reserve first from Zeb and Farfalu. I think it's a very good play in the circumstances. But yeah, Zeb finishes farming at 6 full tanks. Will probably be off to the single chamber portal. Yep.
yeah, so Farfalu did these in the opposite order as far as speed and wave. So assuming he farms to full after this, before going to wave, you can probably just do all this in one shoot. We'll see where this goes. If they want to follow it, they don't. It's because it's vanilla.
Nope. It is vanilla, but you can actually get through there because the various people have made changes. So there's nothing like there's no one ways right near portals.
Yeah, this upper Norfair, what did we get? 2 beams, an E-tank and some E-tanks and
2 beams,
X-ray?
2 beams,
And
a
grapple.
tank, X-ray, and grapple.
Both of the HUD majors.
Yeah. For a while, they were left off of trackers because people were like, "Well, you can just look at the HUD, which is very reasonable. And then SMZ3 came around.
Yeah, so Zeb has these final two upper door portals to check. He's going to. I call this the chronic boost one. Some people call it lava dive. I call
Yeah,
the more further side of it lava dive because that's the room you're in. But you know, different strokes. In either
yeah.
case,
I call this one chronic boost because it just helps my brain discriminate them from each other.
yeah.
Oh boy, we've got a fun decision to. Oh, Zeb's doing suitless. Okay. I don't know how I feel about this. Wonder who made that sprite that Farfel is using with that Mega Man icon. But yeah. And anyways, as I was saying, Zeb's doing suitless with high jump, grapple, and spring. This makes sense. He knows where top of West Meridia goes. He can get to this. He can get to the save. Does he want to just take the save and? No, he's not going to take the save. Interesting. But yeah, you can get a major here at Mama Turtle. You can get 2 portals total. There's the Crab Hole portal and the Pre-Aqueduct portal. Both of those, yeah, both of those are portals. Obviously, they can lead to wherever. So that's valuable information. He's just putting off the Croc Door portal, which I might have been tempted to go do first before doing this. Maybe even save at Main Street and then go back through and do Croc Door, then reset if that's nothing. So we'll see.
I'm interested in the way he's doing this. To me, it looks like what he wants to do is go get the pre-aqueduct door and then do the rest of it down. But I was wrong because he's not grappling across right now. He just
I
didn't
think
want a
he's
double spring ball.
Yeah, that is a double spring roll without ice. Which is it's fair to not want to do that, but I'm pretty sure it is faster. But yeah, I think Mama Turtle first is fine because if it's gravity, then hey, lol, gravity. You just save a million years doing everything else. But yeah, I think this is good because you do the major first, and then you can make your decisions on the portals based on. Hey, look, there's gravity.
And he used grapple instead of space jump because, yes.
Because he's Zeb. But yeah, nice job, Zeb. Got the portal, got the suit. So that's our first suit at 26 minutes.
Yeah, Farfalu deciding to not immediately go into the suitless stuff is, I'm assuming, going to check this croc door. So if that leads him away, it's going to be a bit unfortunate for, his standing, especially as far as, our mini head-to-head on the restream goes.
Yeah, it's okay. This is what I would do. Like, it feels bad to see on a restream, but I definitely sympathize with what Farfel is doing because I would be in his exact same shoes. So I can't really fault him.
And as I speak of getting led away, he gets led away to Wreck Ship, which is the second boss area that we've seen. The first one we saw was East Meridia, but we couldn't really do anything with it at the time. Obviously, we just found that gravity suit, so more than capable of such things now. But Zeb gets the reward of finding a meme route from the other side. Always a welcome sight.
Yeah, it's just like, hey, this is here, but you don't really need to actually do anything about it. But yeah, now Zeb's gonna probably go back to. He's probably gonna check the crab hole portal. My words are wording. But yeah, he'll check that, and then probably go back into Upper Norfair, check the Croc Door portal, and then he might have other plans, but he'll probably just do Wreck Ship after that. Finding Wreck Ship.
Our first boss check is Kraid. Very good for Farfalu. He was definitely capable of doing this with Fan 2, and I'm going to put Dragon in the also doable list. Ridley was not going to happen because it was Wreck Ship, and his current ammo and energy didn't really allow for that. So
yeah,
definitely welcome this. This
Farfalu. Yeah, he was very much in a I can do anything but Ridley state, which is fine.
And he finds another criteria portal. So this is the criteria cleanup area for Zeb, this West Meridia stuff.
Yeah, it looks like he'll be going and finishing the criteria cleanup, which makes a lot of sense. You just want to get it knocked out. There's front of LN, so now we've got two one-offs and the front of East Meridia left, as well as the back of Wreck Ship and the two top of Red Tower portals. So there's a couple scenarios here. Either top of Red Tower has both Turian and Kraid, and we just laugh, but or that's not true and we're sad. Yeah, looks like Farflu will not be checking back Wreck Ship because I don't know why. I think I would have checked it here since you still need two portals, and if you find Turian there, that's like it's not great, but at least you know where it is. And then Kraid there's just awesome. Even if it's Ridley, you can actually you probably can't kill him because you don't have 30 supers, but still, again, just nice to know so you don't have to search for it.
Yeah, Zeb, once he found the gravity, he went and picked up those Main Street supers that he found, and then, as you can see, he just did Gauntlet. He picked up the E-Tank that was at the Vidal location. I think I would have picked up one of those missiles, but he skipped them both, but he's definitely in a place where if he doesn't find any other major items in this seed, I think he'd be fine, personally. Yeah. And by personally, I mean Zeb personally, not me personally.
Yeah,
no.
so...
But... yeah.
If Zeb finds, if Zeb either finds Ridley not at Lower Norfair, or finds, if he finds Ridley outside of Lower Norfair, I think he's going mode. If he discovers that Ridley's in Lower Norfair, I think he wants like a reserve, maybe a couple more supers, and then he's going mode. There's Turian at top of Red Tower.
Yeah. It's funny that we haven't found a reserve, frankly, because I mean that's 7 tanks that he's found already, right? And none of them have been reserves. I did note in the changelog for the logic that I think if I read it correctly, only 1 reserve tank is now counted towards hull run logic. I don't know if that's affecting things here because of the way that the settings work, but like it is interesting that it's if you need exactly 4 tanks for a hull run, it's not going to give you 2 and 2 or 1 and 3 anymore. Which I think is a nice change. It definitely didn't have to happen, and I don't think anyone was like, well, exactly 1 person probably hated it, but that's MST for you.
Yeah, well, I don't hate the change. I think it's a nice thing. Prevents like having to do annoying reserve stuff. But yeah, Zeb finds the back of Wreck Ship at the other top of Red Tower portal, so he's going to. Obviously, he's going to go in here, kill the boss. He has the ammo to do Ridley, if he needs to. I don't know if he'll save or not. That's up to him. I probably would, because I'm scared. But Zeb is Zeb.
I think if I had 35 supers, I would be like, whatever about the save. But
yeah, I agree.
It's Wreck Ship, and you're going to use definitely 1. There's a 35th super.
Yeah, okay, now Zeb's definitely not saving.
We did talk about, safety versus, risk as far as a qualifier setting goes. Farfelu just skipped some supers at Nimrod, which is surprising me.
Yeah, that's a questionable decision to me. I think you picked those up because Ridley's not dead yet, and you don't have a fantastic beam.
Yeah. He did up for the save Zeb did. I was just about to say, the way that they have done these checks in different orders, when I was thinking about this first, when Zeb was in Red Tower, I was realizing that he did not do that croc check to come here, but now he's just going to be able to get it from the other side. And I think that's just going to put him in a position. Actually, hold up. Where the heck is East Meridia?
East Meridia is in Green Star.
Hills.
Yeah.
So, I'm trying to figure out if you want to go back there through Criteria, or if you want to go there through the top of West Meridia, because if my my tracker is correct and it also looks to match what's on screen, Chris Lair is at Aqueduct in East Meridia, so there is only one way in there in this seed.
So yeah, so what I'm thinking Zeb's gonna do is he's gonna go out the front of Wreck Ship, find Croc, then probably go to back of Lower Norfair, do Lower Norfair, Varia doesn't exist, I guess. Then exit there, go to West Meridia at Chronic Boost, then go up West Meridia, go to Mount Everest, and go to East Meridia from there. And then he'll be at East Meridia. He can do East Meridia boss and Kraid boss and be happy. And the only problem with that is he doesn't get to know if Ridley is at Ridley beforehand. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Yeah, Farfalu gets to Gravity, is immediately heading out of East Meridia, and is just gonna go and is heading out of West Meridia, is just gonna go to East Meridia, which makes sense. He's gonna do Waterway first, which I like. I think this is a smart play because
yeah,
if this is what, go ahead.
This is what wasn't entering my mind was how close West Meridia was, which is exactly right here where Zeb is going. So yeah, I think I was gonna say, that lower overplay play is definitely possible, with I think you and other people in chat are saying like Zeb could probably still do it even if it was Ridley. It's just not knowing whether or not it's Ridley changes how you play it, mostly from like a farming scenario, because if your health is low-ish or your ammo is low-ish, you have to farm that up. Whereas if you know it's not Ridley, you're going into a non-heated room fighting a boss that's not gonna drain your health every second and also potentially do some damage to you. So that's the biggest thing. It's not like I don't think I can do this. It's like it's gonna be a lot slower not knowing. So
exactly, and you can always just go in there and be like, all right, if this is Ridley, I just lose. But in a qualifier, that's not how you want to be playing the game. And also, what's really interesting now is Farfel is now the first person into East Meridia, just on routing efficiency, which I think is really interesting. Zeb does have 3 super packs on him, though, and has, full supers. So, well, -3, but who cares? So yeah, this is a really interesting turn of events.
Yeah, Zeb also just made up a decent amount of time by not going to get the Waterway E-Tank. That was the other thing. He could have potentially had an E-Tank up on Farfalu, but yeah, the thing that the other advantage he has is it's funny, it's an advantage that he has, but it's not actually an advantage, which is that he knows what's at the top of Red Tower, but because it's Turian and the other side of Wrecked Ship, that's not going to hurt Farfalu in any way, because the slow checks that you would do on the back end are this, all the way through East Meridia, which you literally have to do because it's Crate Layer.
Yeah,
I don't know if Farf saw the other side of Lower Norfair, but I kind of assume he did.
I think he did. Maybe. I don't know. But the only way that Top Red Tower hurts Farfalu is if he goes to back of Wrecked Ship. And even if he does, he still gets spat on a Turian. But he definitely if he goes to back of Wrecked Ship to find something, then that's gonna be worse for him. He can, but in his mind, back of Wrecked Ship could be Turian. So.
Oh, I was pretty sure I saw some taps in there from Farfalu. Yeah, he definitely wanted to look at these miners. Rewarded with a super, that's nice.
Nice skip, by the way, for Farfalu. But yeah, now Zeb is just going to be ahead here, because he has the ammo, so he can just skip these checks. Is going to be prepping for a suitless outline, though. Yeah. By suitless, I mean very careless, of course.
Yeah. And Zeb knew what this was going to be. Farfalu didn't, but he was going to get rewarded with this. It kind of makes sense to do this either way, especially because, Farfalu's scenario, he could get Dragon here, and because his current ammo was so low, he could, opt to skip Batoon and save that ammo and then farm 1,000,000 supers on the reverse path. That will be helpful. Also, the fact that it's exactly Kraid is also a really good super farm, so it's doubly good in that way. And yeah. This is really, really, really safe save. I think, any situation that's not a qualifier, Zeb is not saving here.
Agreed.
He's not.
Yeah.
For his skill level, he's in, minimal danger, regardless of this boss. And I'm sure he would tell us that, too. And yeah, as you see, Farfalu is not saving, because, like I said, regardless of the skill level, minimal risk. This could be Ridley, and they would be like, "Hi, Ridley, nice to see you again."
Yeah, it would very much just be a hi Ridley, bye Ridley.
Except for the fact that Farfalu, okay, yeah, he wants to. This is smart. shoot the idol out and enter with max supers, especially because unlike Zeb, he has 30 max supers, not 40, so can't just, you know, shoot stuff willy-nilly. That's a bit of an unfortunate manipulation miss. Phantom was a little high. Ends up the 3-round, nicely done. We'll see if Farflu can get some good Fantoon luck and some good execution, maybe make up a little bit of time. As yeah, like we said, this race got closer. Zeb definitely has some more portal knowledge, but like I said, it's largely inconsequential just because of exactly what the portals that Farflu doesn't have are. It's really just gonna come down to, is Varia literally right in front of them, and if not, how well do you handle the Varialist lore and warfare that... Unfortunately, this is one of those things that usually the difference between area and vanilla map, you know, lore and warfare hard runs is both that you can enter from the back of lower warfare and, you know, it's not vanilla, but in this case it is vanilla, so, you know, you have the added, you know, hell run of, you know, upper warfare into that, which does take, you know, more health than, you know, it necessarily needed to.
Yeah,
but
it does take some health to get to LN, but it's usually not enough that you care too much about it, especially with 9 tanks and a couple of crystal flashes. Really fine. Again, like, the big thing you're worrying about is Ridley being vanilla, which at this point is a 50% chance for both of these guys. And yeah, like Cutie said, Zeb still has 3 super packs on Farfelu. So if Ridley's vanilla, then Zeb can just ammo through him, and he won't have to worry about farming all that much. But also, they'll have to worry about Batsun, which is right here, right now, on Zeb316's screen. Yeah, so you want to use supers, but you also want to have supers for other stuff, like a potential Ridley at Dragon, which is what you want.
Yeah, that's why that Kraid farm was huge. You know, Mini Kraid really hooks you up with all the supers. We found our first reserve tank. Took a long time for that one. We pointed that out a little bit earlier, but
yeah, that's nice. It'll help with Ridley grab if Ridley's vanilla.
Another farm of, you know, extra safety here. He had, I believe it was 37 supers, which is plenty for whichever of the 2 bosses happens to be here. But yeah, this is one of those things where there are people who, you know, see ammo pickups, especially once you have, you know, like charge wave spazer, which is their current deal, and be like, why are you still picking up stuff? And part of it is like, you know, what you're seeing. Zeb did farm here when I think he didn't necessarily have to, but Farf had to farm here. So, like, you know, you may have paid 7 seconds up front for that fanfare, but, you know, on the back end of things, you can, you know, do less farming.
Yeah, so they find Ridley at Dragon. This is awesome, but the big downside is if people do LN first, then they're going to be more efficient in Eastern because now Zeb's going to have to go all the way through the sand pits, which will get him 2 minor items, but it's just a bunch of time lost. So
it could get you Varia. You don't know.
It could. Left sand pit is a major item. Could be Varia. We'll see.
This, however, is not Varia for certain.
Yeah. Logical.
Wasn't even Ice Beam
behind Ridley. Go ahead. Yeah. Yeah. Ice would be nice. Plasma would be awesome. Outside of that, they're not looking for much. Morph bombs would also be cool because you do use a couple power bombs in Modern Warfare, and then morph bombs just both save time and save your power bombs so you can use them for crystal flashes. But
yeah, both runners executing this Ridley, it was, you know, They almost had too many E-tanks. They could have gotten careless, but that did not happen. I'll be interested to see. I assume Farflu probably picks up this reserve tank on the way out, but you kind of don't need to. You just kind of usually do because it's there.
Yeah.
Oh, and Zeb.
Oh yeah, this is right.
Zeb cares this little about Varia. He says, "You know what? I'm not taking the extra, like, I don't know, 4 rooms. I'm just gonna say bye."
It's a couple rooms. This does save time, but if Varia is there, you just lose a bunch of time. So we'll see what Farflu does. If Varia is there, then this would be a really interesting race.
Yeah, I'm interested on the front that, like, if I'm Zeb here, I think especially with the pool here, I'm trying to get like top 2 in this qualifier, right? And on that front, I think you've routed this well enough to like take that time. That's my opinion. But
so the thing
he may
have
have an opinion that he may just not care. Sorry, I cut you off.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I think what Zeb's going to be worried about is the fact that he did Meridia before Modern Warfare, and that is going to be slower if you have a good suit with Ally. And like now that he's got more stuff, it'll be easier to have a good suit with Ally. But if you have Dragon dead, but by doing LN before Meridia, then you just get to save time in Meridia, and that's what Zeb's going to be worried about. That's what Zeb's thinking people could beat him on.
This is a vanilla reserve tank. So shout outs to East Meridia for having half of the Seeds reserve tanks. Could have all 4. There's 2 locations that we're not going to look at, so who knows? So yeah, what is their path through this into the seed? Yeah, they're gonna go back here. Yeah, and then Main Street pops you out in Upper Norfair, and that takes you to the back of Lower Norfair. And from there, you just got to get to Red Tower, which is also Upper Norfair. So, and again, yeah, like I guess regardless of which of East Meridian and Lower Norfair did, the back end of it kind of routed pretty well regardless. My brain says if you were doing it very early regardless, I actually think this was better just because of how many more tanks you got, but...
Yeah, the only problem is what if you didn't need these? So, tanks are important. It feels silly to say, but it is true.
Didn't make my final connection. Alright. So, things I'm interested in. I'm not actually that interested. I was going to say something about whether or not you farm first, and then I looked at Zeb's super count, and I was like, yeah, you farm first.
Yeah, you definitely farm first. Like, you need supers.
Yeah. Dragon is not necessarily going to take any of their ammo because they have grapple beam and also speed if they want to use that to kill. Both of those are a little bit dangerous because, well, the grapple does a lot more damage because you don't have Varia and speed while, you know, chain damage exists. But Zeb says going in with only 1 Crystal Flash available is fine. I'll just, you know, spark the Metal Pirates, get a bunch there, farm pretty early and be okay. Farflu, again, like I said, Farflu does not have that luxury. He's most certainly not going to go into Lower Norfair with 3 current supers. I'm willing to state that matter-of-factly.
Yeah, that would be a silly endeavor.
Reserve number 3. So, Farflu is farming here. I guess the only other place you really see this farm usually is like GT Classic. So I don't know, you know, necessarily how good the farm is as far as like super drops or whatever. But it seems like he's doing fine.
It's the same as the Speedbug farm.
It's the same as the Speedbug farm. Okay. I mean, they're in the same area, so that makes sense.
Yeah, it's the exact same bug, same RNG.
They take longer to like for the drops to be collectible. Am I making that up, or is that true? Just because of
it's
where the bugs spawn.
I think you're right. I haven't actually tested it, but I think if I had to guess, I think you're right. It's possible in this farm to shoot the bugs too early and have the bugs just be in the floor, and then you have to wait for them to despawn and feel silly. But yeah.
Here's the first Crystal Flash for Zeb. Before the Metal Pirates is very much a smart thing to do. There's definitely ways to make it through this room. If you nail your strat perfectly, you're not gonna take hits and you're not gonna, do too badly, and then you're gonna get, health and super drops from these Metal Pirates. Unfortunately, missed that second spark. So, those 3 supers are not insignificant. He is gonna. Well, I guess you don't have to spend time farming here. You could, both count on drops from Dragon as well as, a potential tank behind Dragon that could help you out.
Yeah.
And then if you don't get those, you can farm on the way out.
Yeah. At the moment, he's doing fine on health. He'll just be wanting to have another Crystal Flash leaving, which also means he's not going to want to miss these missiles in case he doesn't get any other missile drops. Didn't see this for Zeb. I don't know if this is an E-Tank or not.
Oh, this is a reserve here.
Oh, okay, that's right.
They now are equal on reserves as well as equal on E-Tanks.
Actually, did turn his reserves off?
I know he got the one at Batoon. I actually don't know if he picked up the one at Meridia Reserve. I just know he saw it, so I could be wrong about them being equal on reserves.
Yeah,
having them turned off would be weird.
Yeah. I'm having a little bit of, I wouldn't say difficulty, just getting out. Okay, that kill was scary because
it was also like, ugh, that was barely on screen.
Yeah,
exactly.
Not want to
lose a half hour.
Yeah, it's not a half hour; it's 18 minutes. But you still don't want to lose 18 minutes. But yeah,
I got the propaganda machine run wild. It'll discourage people further.
But yeah, if you do that, you pretty much have to reset or sit in the room while Dragon goes through all of the out of bounds area and ends up on the left side or the right side, depending on which side you killed her. But yeah, it's terrible. I had it happen once in an 80% race, and I sat through it all for funsies, and it was 18 minutes of Dragon dying. It was kind of funny.
Baku had a little bit better of a time in that Metal Pirates room. He also Crystal Flashed like one room sooner, basically. Well, it wasn't the same room. He just did it at the beginning of the room, which was interesting. Yeah, we are gonna say that we're done with checks. So we're gonna end the game on this equipment. No ice. So we're gonna be powerbombing Metroids. But Rando kind of makes you prepared for that situation a lot. So I'm sure both of these runners will be fine.
I'm more worried about the fact that he doesn't have a Crystal Flash, but I'm sure Zeb knows that he's fine on energy here. I just like to have a Crystal Flash because it makes me happier. Farfully gets the grapple kill. Nice job.
It's gonna make the energy tank better for his situation comparatively, but I think definitely, again, it was a safer play from Zeb. Farflu was definitely like, this is the fastest way for me to kill Dragon right now, so I'm gonna do it. And if I gotta farm, I gotta farm. He's got much better ammo. Could Crystal Flash for sure, and if you farm pre-readly well enough, you could get up to 20 whatever you need. Actually, because of no bombs, you do a lot more. I don't know. Either way, they'll both be fine, presumably.
Yeah, I'd be very surprised if either runners took a death now. because of the fun refill right before Turian that you get in Area Rando, which is an awesome feature.
Yeah, I even think Turian's even Meridian escape at the top of Red Tower, so you don't even have to like ride the elevator up and down. Because like we said earlier, Farfelu doesn't actually know where Turian is yet. He is going to find it, and like it's gonna look like he just went right to where it is, because it's like in the best place for him right now.
Yeah. But yeah, I won't be an elf. Zeb's already on his way.
Yeah. Zeb gets that space jump climb for the second time this seed. It's a cool strat. Always like to see that. So this looks like, I don't know, maybe a 101, maybe a high 1 hour.
Powerbomb Metroid's probably a high 101, low 102. My guess. But yeah. Let's see the funniest to stream Metroids. Let's see if that does them. Okay, I think this is like a modified to stream strat.
I don't.
Yeah. Yeah, so stream
Did that
lights.
first part hit all of these?
Yes.
It could be
it's the way it
restream.
works. No, the way it works is if a powerbomb hits kills a Rinka spawner, then it will hit all the Metroids because of a bug in the vanilla game. So
yeah, I didn't see the Metroids flash like they are in this stream. That's why I was curious about the first one. But like I said, it could just be a restream thing.
Yeah, no, that's probably a 30 FPS thing. But yeah, now he's gonna do the same trick again here to hit all three Metroids. Then he's gonna double hit them with the last two power bombs.
It's a drop he very much didn't need.
Yeah.
Yeah, here's where Farfelu gets to look like, you know, a genius for not doing any of this earlier. Just gonna run the Turian exactly where it is. Ooh. Alright. These last few jumps look like they've mitigated any issues. Yeah, Zeb's in the clear.
Yeah, Zeb, he's got all the ammo in the world, and he has a fairly okay beam. He will be more than fine.
Can we get a first try? Yes.
Lucky.
Lots of room to spare.
Yeah. Yeah, Zeb's so good at this, he has an emote for it.
Excuse me if you heard that, sorry.
Yeah, now into Mother Brain 1 as Farfelu is entering Turian.
Yeah, Farfelu certainly kept it close, like we said. Just a little bit of I would say slight routing efficiency early on for Zeb. I don't know if the back-end routing really made much difference at all, frankly. And yeah, just a little bit of execution early on, as well as, you know, better ammo for the, you know, back end of this helped a lot with farming and such. Those are my main takeaways for why Zeb is ahead in this race, but you know, it's like couple
Yeah,
of
I think.
minutes,
Yeah, I
not
think the
even
big
maybe
one.
90 seconds.
Yeah, I think
No,
the big
probably
ones
like
are. He did Suez Meridia and got Gravity before he did a bunch of that stuff. And then he had the full knowledge of all the stuff before he actually went into East Meridia, which didn't like matter all that much, but it did save him a bit of time. Then did lose time to not having Dragon dead before East Meridia, but I'll ask him why he did that in the interview because I am curious.
yeah, my estimate was way off. I think we're gonna be 102, 103.
Something like that. Yeah, Mother Brain sucks. Yeah, Zeb is gonna do stand-up. Maybe? Question mark?
I mean, you have to have this health for non-varia regardless, right? So
Yeah. Yeah, might as well. You're already here.
ooh, yeah. Just messed up on a baby skip, but
Yeah, I can base. Yeah. Yeah, Zeb's starting to stand up now. Yeah, Farkley just a hair behind on all the things. Yeah, this stand-up doesn't actually save much time, but it saves like some quantifiable amount of time. So it's just you just want to squeeze out every second you can get, especially in this qualifier setting where the time differential does matter because it does help with computing your score.
yeah. I'll try to give a brief, quick synopsis of my understanding of it. Basically, I think this has enough runners so that the par time is top 5 runners. So like the first
it does.
5 people to finish, you'll average that time, and that is like the quote unquote par time, and then everyone's scored out of 100 based on that. So obviously, if you beat that par time, you do score over 100. But that's the gist of it. So like,
Yeah.
you know, the first place finisher will. I don't know. Is it possible to not get over 100 if you finish first? I wouldn't think so.
I would think unless the first 5 finishers all tied to the second, then every one of them would get 100. I don't think it's possible to get under 100 as a first place finisher. But yeah, the scores are also capped at 110, just so nobody gets like a ridiculous score for like smelling everyone. That's an inside joke, but for like destroying everyone by taking a ridiculously different route or something and getting rewarded. Yeah, is that pulling a Farfaloo, not even getting the Moonfall?
I think if everything goes well, Zeb's gonna sneak under 103 with a 102. I haven't looked at the race room yet, so I don't actually know the results. So this will be fun, you know, for me to see how our runners did compared to the rest of the field. You know, from what we saw, like I said, I think Zeb routed this pretty well. Some people think Lorna, her first was better. I think optimally maybe, but in a practical scenario, maybe not. But yeah, that is our first finisher on Restream and our first finisher overall, Zeb316. 1 hour, 2 minutes, and 46 seconds. And like I said, he won this qualifier. That's first place. And again, congrats to him. That's going to be, you know, the start that he was looking for, I'm sure. Definitely one of the people that I would say plays Randomizer the most among the community. And I also know these are his favorite settings. And like I said, this was a good field. There were a lot of good competitors in here. And like we said, I mean, we saw this race on stream. It's gonna finish, you know, not too far apart. But I definitely think Zeb wanted to like I said, I think top 2 is definitely the aim, and he can tell you himself because we're joined in the commentary booth by Zeb316 as well as Farfalu. Spoilers, he's gonna finish soon.
Hey,
Hi Zeb, GG's. Sick
GG.
run.
Thank you. Felt pretty good about that one. Been talking a little bit in MGA's Discord to someone, to QD, about the LN, waiting on LN, which I think in this seed, like, I'm guessing MM2 was talking about doing LN first, before
Yeah.
Meridia.
Yeah, we were talking about that.
Well,
yeah,
I think
what was
it's
your thought?
only better if Dragon's there. Like, that's the only case it's better. To me, it
Yeah.
seemed like.
Uh-huh.
Um,
And then it's worse if Ridley's there.
It's so much worse. Like,
Okay.
I'm not sure if my mic was weird, but
No, we can hear you fine.
okay. So Ridley there, I think, is just so bad because it's already like a reasonably, like, it's not that tough of a lore warfare, but like, you have to do single chamber first to get into it, so you're already down like a couple hundred energy probably. And then, like, with Ridley there, I really feel like you need at least one E-tank in Lore Warfare if Ridley's there. Especially because I think I was only on like 7 plus arrow, I think. Because my first reserve was at Babu and E-tank. And I really don't think, I think if Ridley there is, I just kind of have to forfeit. Like, unless an E-tank is behind Ridley. Like, I didn't feel like I had the supers for it. Like, if I have 50 supers there, then I can do it. Like, because then I can Crystal Flash, fight Ridley, Crystal Flash again after, kind of. But yeah, it just, like, seemed unnecessarily risky for very little payoff. Like, which the payoff was there this seed, because Dragon was there. Yeah, that's how it felt to me.
Yeah, but like you said, that's only a 1 in 3 shot, and then there's a 1 in 3 shot you just get owned by Ridley, and that does suck. But yeah, that's a fairly fine call. My other question for you was when you found Main Street in Upper Norfair. I was thinking maybe you save at Main Street, go back to Croc Door, do that, and then you can fully commit to West Meridia Suitless without feeling bad about leaving anything behind. What was your reasoning behind not doing that?
I don't know. I wanted the item. I didn't want to have to follow the portal without getting the item. I was going to go back up, I think. I was thinking about, like, what to do if it wasn't gravity there. I was thinking I might want to go back up to Pre-Aqueduct at that point. But I don't know. I wanted the item first. And I was a little worried because I didn't fall down West Meridia instantly. Which I was really considering when I found that in Green Bryn. I saw that West Meridia portal, and I was like, man, this is so tempting.
Yeah, Simo would have done it.
Yeah, and Simo would have crushed this seed then.
Probably, yeah.
I'm gonna quickly shout out Farfalu finishing with a time of 1 hour 6 minutes 34 seconds. GG to him. Second on the restream, 4th overall. So again, that's a good time. You're within that par range, so you're gonna get a good score. Like I said, he's been listening, and yeah, Zeb, you can continue your thoughts. I just also want to say I like the finish screen of this new Varia update.
Yep, I do too. I think.
Oh yeah, easily the best part of this update. It's so good.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this is great. And yeah, Farflu's up. GG's.
Hey, thanks. GG, Zeb.
Yeah, GG.
I heard Zeb talking about being okay with his route. I think, well, I was a bit rusty. I think I'm really okay with what I did, except with 2 little mistakes. Well, first, forgetting I have charge at Croc. I think that cuts me 3rd place because I'm sure I lost about 20-25 seconds right there. But the other thing is when I think back, when I found, I think Main Street, same. I did not go to Turtle E-Tank. I was still focusing on finding Great's Door or maybe Wreck Ship. I don't know. I was just convinced progression had to be at Great E-Tank, so I focused more on Portal and did all the world tour, even went to check what was meme route, and then I came back almost last log for finding Gravity there. That might have cost much more than for getting charged. But except that, I think for rusty as I was, I think it was quite good. I'm glad I finished in the. At least I'm making the par or the average for the par.
Yeah, the part-time throwing this stuff into my spreadsheet is going to be 4,022 seconds because that's what my spreadsheet tells me.
Very useful to just be in seconds.
I'm working on it. Bit over an hour.
That's about a 108, I think.
I'm gonna choose to believe that you did that math in your head and be amazed.
Is it 108? 107?
Maybe
Is it
107.
107? Yeah, 107. It's 107.02, I think.
Cool. Thanks, guys, for doing my job for me. But yeah,
I'll shoot you the link to that average thing we used in League. That'll be easy for you.
yeah. I used some average tool for for when me and Farflu were doing practice seeds, but I changed computers and I didn't bring the link over. I'll have to find it again. But yeah, I'll figure it out. But yeah, y'all have anything else to say before we close this thing off?
I guess when I found that West Meridia, I also I'll talk a little bit more about that. I felt like Mama Turtle was one of the last good checks I had left, kind of at that point.
Yeah.
Or one of the last reasonable ones I had left. Like there's Kraid, there's Wreck Chip, but otherwise I think I've cleared pretty much everything else. So if I had a lot more left, I think that there's a reasonable argument to just leave it for me. But as it was, I think that doing it there was pretty important, kind of. So otherwise, yeah, I think that just thanks for putting on this restream. Thanks for the race. Glad I got first place. I was, yeah, like you were saying that I was kind of hoping for first, second, really first, kind of. I really want to get those firsts and try to get as many points as I can. Try to get as high of a seed as I can.
Is that farming race time points? That's what I'm
Yeah.
hearing.
Also race time points. I can't wait for my +6 after this. But
Me neither. It'll be epic.
Hey, I mean, look, I don't know how any of this stuff works, but there's both 16 people in this race, and there's also Farflu's less than 1,000 away from you. Stodders isn't that far. I feel like you should get more than 6.
Yeah, I'll probably get +7.
No, I'm thinking +5. I think +5 is appropriate.
It's gonna be the
drama
of the century, waiting in this race room.
Yeah. Though we all know that if Nitro had won, he would get +300. That's just how it works.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. But yeah, GG is Zeb, GG is Farflu. Yeah, I guess. D-Web, you want to say some final thoughts before we close this thing off?
The first thing I'm going to say. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead, Farflu.
Yeah, well, just thank you for the restream. Thank you, MM2, for not racing this and beating me. So I'm sure you did a pretty good job on comms. And I will wait for my -5 on the restream. Thank you.
Yeah, just wanted to say, I was going to say I'm going to do MM2's job for him and say that we need crew for our second qualifier today. So
8 p.m. Eastern, if you want to sign up. There's the link in the topic of the Super Metroid Randomizer channel in the SGLIVE Discord. I'll probably show for that later. But yeah, for now, yeah. Thanks, D-Web, for being an awesome co-com. You're great. Thanks to Jestrazooks for adapting to the new area random track with around about 2 hours notice. He's terrible on the tracker page, but it does such a good job for the restream. Just massive props to him. He does so much tracking, does a great job. I don't think these restreams would happen without people like Jestro. He's great. Also, thanks to, I said it earlier, but thanks to Feasel and T Sigma for making the tracker on around about a week of notice. They're great. But yeah, thanks to everybody for participating in this qualifier, and D-Web, close us out.
Yeah, Glad to be on here for, qualifier one at the beginning of this exciting tournament. It was a pretty good race between the two of you, like we said. GG's to you both. We will have more randomizer races coming at you, qualifiers this weekend and next weekend. Stick around for more, check out that SG schedule. I don't know are we on? I don't know what channel we're on later today, but like MMT said,
Main.
is it back on main? They know what's up.
They do?
Yeah, we'll hopefully see you all then. And until then, see you next mission.
See you later.